Any changes before we approve the agenda? Okie dokie.
Can you make it a little bigger or not?
You bet. Yes,
That's
yes, I
exactly
can.
mine.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right. So I think we have officially almost a full commission. Mary Kay, do you want to provide a status on who has been accepted per city council vote? I don't know if this was last week or I'm not quite tracking how everything has been evolving.
I can tell you officially we are welcoming back Karen and Joyce and Larry. And the only opening we have is our youth members and Brittany, for those of you that remember Brittany Treshan, I think I'm pronouncing her name right. She had left in between her term, but her term wasn't a full 3 years. So we have one spot open and it's about a year position that's open. And I don't have an update on it, but with the members that we have, oh, Mary does. So, so then we can talk about that. And then briefly, I heard you guys talking about the youth member. And so maybe that's what Mary's going to comment on as well. I wasn't aware that we had a youth member anymore. And so I can follow up with that, or we can wait to see where Mary wants to share it if she knows anything. But you guys mentioned Elise, and I don't have her on our roster anymore.
Okay, she reached out, yeah. Councilmember Supple, do you want to provide, do you have an update on that?
So Tuesday night from 4:30 to 6 and tonight from 4:30 to 6:30, we were interviewing commission members. And when they put it back out there, we got a flood of people wanting to be on the Arts Commission. It was like by far the most popular one that everybody wanted to be on. So we had to make a really, really tough choice. I'm not allowed to tell you who we picked, but know that there was a lot of excitement and enthusiasm and interest. So that was going to tell you that there was a lot of really fired up people. And so it was a kind of a blessing of riches there. So as far as the youth commissioners, oh, go ahead.
Oh, when you're done, I would just love to hear more about what people were excited about.
Okay. As far as youth commissioners, as far as I know, nobody officially applied, but if Elise is still interested, she should put, should make sure we contact and let Blanca Martinez Gavinia know that she's interested, because I've reached out to Watershed High School, Academy of the Holy Angels, and Richfield High School. And so far I haven't gotten any feedback that anybody was interested. So if Elise is interested, we might have the one youth commissioner for all of the commissions in Richfield, because the pandemic, I think, has put a kibosh on kids wanting any more screen time because they're on computers all day long. So
I can relate to that. Okay, well, that sounds great then. I missed the name. I mean, Mary Kay, do you want to handle connecting Elise with Blanca, or what do you feel like is the appropriate path there?
I have no problem doing that. Who did she reach out to? Did she reach out to Joyce or Mia? Because I never saw anything.
Both of us.
Okay. So could one of you forward her email to me so that I can work from the inside with Blanca and the city manager's office to get?
You bet.
Okay. Yeah, I had heard the same thing Mary did, that no youth had applied. And so when you mentioned her name tonight, I was like, wow, did I miss that email? But if we can get her on, we're all for it, because she was like one of our stronger youth members.
Yeah.
And she held on to a couple meetings more than the others ever did. So that would be great.
Very much interested. She seemed very much interested.
Okay, just forward me the email after the meeting and I'll reach out to Blanca.
Done. Okay, sounds great. And Mary, what kind of feedback did you hear from the community about the Arts Commission? Any highlights you want to share?
Well, I'm reaching for my notes because I was feverishly writing down notes. So people were like really excited. They were talking about music and art and drama, and they were excited about the sidewalk poetry. And they were talking about all of like going on the sculpture tours that you guys had put out. And so, and public art. And so they were really fired up. And one of the things is people talked about wanting to like maximize the usage of the spaces that we have.
Mm.
So like over by the Lake Winds Co-op, there's that amphitheater, and somebody said that someone had done an impromptu dance recital there because of COVID. And so they thought, well, maybe we can do more of that kind of stuff. And then somebody else was talking about trying, let's see if I can find it. Like they really liked having stuff that kids could do.
Mm.
And so when they had the holiday lights parade and the luminaries at Wood Lake Nature Center, they're like, well, can't we set up luminary walks other places? And so let's see. They were talking about building connection to the community. One guy was talking about all kinds of different musical things that could be done in outdoor spaces. And one person was like talking about pop-up events, so they could have pop-up classes for kids, and talked about like in their hometown, somebody would open their garage and hire an art instructor and do a pop-up class. And they thought maybe we could do pop-up classes here. So like I said, there was like all this enthusiasm and people were bursting with ideas. So it was cool.
That's great.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's great. It's good. Things are moving.
I have a quick question. Is the Arts Commission limited in how many members we can have? And what's that number? Are we at it?
We have one opening, and that would be the role left by Brittany, and then we can have up to 2 youth.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's 9 total, 7 adults to 2 youth.
So I guess my other question is that written in stone? I mean, could we have more commission members?
It's in the bylaws. I know that. So I
Yeah.
think it would take a commission vote, and I don't know if more in order to change the bylaws. But Mary Kay, do you want to?
I would have to ask. It is in our bylaws, and they were recently changed to the lower numbers because in the past, and this was the past, but when we had higher numbers, we could never make the quorum. And so then people stopped coming because the vote didn't matter, the meeting didn't matter, and we never got anything accomplished. So we lowered the numbers so that we could reach the quorum and be more productive. So when we had the big numbers, people didn't come, we didn't have the commitment, then we didn't have enough. Yeah, it was kind of a disaster. But with the excitement that Mary just shared, it might be worth looking at, although it is a process to change that. So not a process that I'm giving up on, but I'm telling you that it was higher and now might sound like a chance to maybe look at it again. It would be great if we could get a youth member and get a team up and do some things and then prove that we're strong enough to handle more members, maybe. I'm just tossing that out, but yeah, it is in the bylaws, so it would require changing those.
Okay,
So
Mary.
what we did tonight is the people that were enthusiastic, we made sure we found a commission for them somewhere, and we're hoping the commissions will work together. So it might be that there will be other commissions reaching out to you as well, that will have people that have that arts background on them with them.
Were you going to say something, Joyce?
No, I just said Mary had her hand up.
Oh. Any thoughts, Karen?
No, it's just, if there were a bunch of people who wanted to be on the Arts Commission and they were left out in the cold, I would think that it would be worth maybe changing the bylaws so that we could, get more interest. But if they have all found commissions, then it would be nice to know maybe the commissions that they are on so that we could, just kind of try and make those commission connections as well, or to know like what commissions have people who are interested in the arts.
And I might add, with the upcoming trainings, we might get a chance to meet all those new members. And then if you guys shared you're on the Arts Commission, and if you ever wanted to team up with us, here's our contact. But with the trainings coming up, maybe that would be an easy way to make it happen on at least one of them, if we each brought back one name or something, or could be an easy way to connect during COVID.
Okay. So I think in terms of bylaws, why don't we kind of discuss that over the course of the year? I don't know if we should take any quick action on that, but I do remember hearing over the last couple of years that we have been getting more and more interest in people serving on commissions. And Mary, please correct me if I'm wrong or misunderstand that. But, if, I don't want to repeat history and end up not having the commission full, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of the more the merrier kind of person. So if there's space for us to explore it and we feel like we can meet the capacity, then that's something I'm interested in long term, thinking about.
Another option might be that when we do hold events, we ask for volunteers or people interested in the community.
That's a
It
good idea.
doesn't mean they have to, quote, be on the commission, but nothing wrong with friends of the Arts Commission, or, inviting them to help us plan an event when we have the band shell this Friday as well, or this fall as well.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's right. That's great.
So that
Great
that
idea.
whole phrase of the more the merrier
Yeah.
is wonderful. And if we do that art walk or get the flyer out, and we could put something on there or make a post. Here's what we're looking to do. If anyone is interested in helping, contact whoever we want that contact to be. So
That's a great idea. I think that's great. That's wonderful.
Okay, great. Anything else on this before we get to our election? And can we do that, Mary Kay? I know with Chelsea not being here, I'm assuming we still have a quorum, right? So we can vote on this?
quorum, and when she sent me that she was sick, I did remind her that we were voting tonight, and if she had any interest in being on, quote, chair or secretary, and I did not hear back from her. So I'm assuming she knew we were voting, and that's I think that's fine by her. If something changes, I would contact you guys right away. But right now, I think she's fine with us moving forward, or I haven't seen anything. And I'll continue to check in case she fell asleep or is not, if at her email.
Okay, so I think we need to fill two positions, right? The chair and the secretary. So, is anyone interested in any particular role? Joyce and I have served for a few years. Joyce, my understanding was that you did not want to return to the chair position. Is that correct?
Well,
Or if you do,
I mean, I can be just a member. That's why I said I'd just be a member. But if it's something that I can serve in, that's fine too. But otherwise, I could just be a member. If anybody chooses to, well, anyway, yeah, I can just sit and be a member. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, if someone else wants to step into chair position, I was thinking I could give Larry a rest on secretary. Um, Unless you want to still do that capacity, Larry. But I know you've been doing that for a few years yourself, so that was something I was, willing to step into if there was another person who was interested in chairing the commission. I think we've got a lot of people who would have the talent and ability to do it.
Karen, you're looking at that.
You guys don't want me to chair.
Why we don't want you to
Wow,
chair?
yeah, that's a good
Why?
question, Joyce.
Why
No,
don't
I will. Full disclosure, I'm not very organized. I think it would behoove the whole commission for me just to be a member.
Mhm. Mia, are you talking about being a secretary?
Yeah, well, that's something that I was willing to do if someone else wanted to be chair.
I could be co-chair, but I don't want the full chair. I could be helpful, and that if someone else wants to be it, that's fine too. What do you think?
Yeah, Janie, Larry, do you want to let us know your perspectives?
Um, I am certainly willing to give up the secretary role. Um, uh, uh, I guess I would maybe be willing to be chair if someone was willing to do it, or if there was someone. Yeah, I don't know. My issue is that I've got a lot of other stuff going on, so I don't know. But yeah,
How many years you been serving, Larry, as a secretary? How many years?
50.
50.
That's so long.
50. 50?
Uh,
You're just 50 years old. How can you serve 50? No, you're 50.
That's a good question, Joyce. At least I don't know, Mary Kay, at least 3.
Yeah, but you know what, Larry? I want to tell you, you did a really good job. When you guys say he's been doing a great job, he did a great job.
Oh yeah, it's not about Larry not doing a great job. It's just about sharing the wealth of responsibilities in terms of the commission.
Yeah, great job.
So Mia, maybe you could break down what being the chair kind of entails.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and Joyce, please, add your perspective. I mean, so for me, what it's meant is, putting together the agenda, and really, being a partner with Mary Kay and Joyce on the different activities or, information coming from members of the community or other organizations within Richfield, and just bringing that into the Arts Commission for us to consider, for our initiatives. And I would say it's probably maybe like 3 hours a month. It's not a ton of work, but it's, organizing the agenda, being the liaison with Mary Kay, bringing stuff into the team, and then presenting it for discussion. So, Joyce, what's your perspective?
Well, I think, I think there's one thing that I had idea too, and I think I've been thinking about part of the commission too, is to reach out to other commissions from other states, other cities, and what they're doing. And I have reached out to a young lady there who is on the, and I wrote it down, she's with the council, she's a council member, District 2 in Hennepin County in Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, she's all around there. But she's connected me with some arts group out there. So I've been looking into some things, so that we can bring back some things, interest here. And so that would be something that I would like to see expanded. I mean, I'm just going beyond what we're doing, but what you said, Mia, it's all, I diddled that because that's basically what I would have thought of also. But I think the Arts Commission could go beyond where we're at now as far as even co-chairs. Chair.
And then also Joyce and Mia, you both do a presentation every year to the
Yeah,
city
do a
council. Is that right?
presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the year, we do a presentation. So that would be one of the things. Just connecting with the, like we did a lot of things at the band shell, a few things, community meetings there. And yeah, like again, working with Mary Kay as a liaison and just keeping things moving, you know, looking where arts can be placed. So.
Mary Kay, from your perspective, is there anything that you might add to what the chair entails?
It's working side by side and taking the leads on thing. Probably the biggest thing is the monthly commitment of getting the agenda out. And I think it's a template that Mia uses, but she'll contact me, or as I see things, I send her the email saying, hey, can you add this to the agenda? Communicating with me and then being at the events and running the meetings. We don't meet in July, and we tend not to meet in December and January per the bylaws. We present usually we November, just so that most of our season for the year is kind of wrapped up. So if there's a slideshow or something you want to share, most of our events had already happened. So I think we're one of the best commissions. I think we're a great group and easy to work with. And it's very rare, especially given our current commission members, that we ever see anything of conflict or heated discussions. I just got done making a presentation to the Chase Bank, and I said, by far, we are the best group to work with. So,
That's nice.
So I think that if it was of interest to anyone, either having, if I can add my 2 cents, either having Joyce or Mia there to bring someone else into the loop, it would be a great year to try it if you were interested in it.
Yeah.
But only because you can kind of learn from them. I think Joyce and Mia have a lot of conversations, just not a lot, but you guys are also connecting. In addition to me, I think as co-chairs, there does have to be some communication so that you guys are on the same page. And how I've seen Joyce and Mia separated is that I work with Mia on the meetings, and most meetings are run by Mia, but then Joyce is at all the events and contributing, taking, like, because of her theater background, has been, you know, front and center, and then Mia shows up to support that. So they've complemented each other very well. But I always like learning from a co-chair. Of course, I would work with any of you, and it's not certainly my decision who's chair, co-chair, secretary, but I think you could all do the job. So, and you're not going to be out there and left alone because we all work together. So that's my 2 cents, but.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's about it, isn't it? I think the whole thing. Yeah, because like I said, it's open for whoever. I mean, I don't even have to be the co-chair. I mean, if there's a need, I'll feel the need. But whoever else wants to be that's open. Yeah.
If you want to give a little time to think about it, we can move through the rest of the agenda and then hold elections at the end, so we make sure to get our meeting in.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's okay, because then it can move along. And if you have more questions, we could just put electing positions after my staff updates or any questions. I made the meeting end at 7:25 or 8:25 by accident. instead of 8:30. So I know it's going to shut off at 7:25, or sorry, 8:25.
No problem, Mary Kay. I think it's a great idea. So everyone think about it. And I completely agree with Mary Kay. Any of us could do this and do a great job. So let's get an update on the local art brochure. How's that going, Mary Kay? And Karen, right? Karen's been pretty closely involved in that as well.
It's been great helping out, and we're not done yet, but we did have a request that I'd like to share with the group. And Karen addressed it at the last meeting, and step in at any time, Karen. But what happened was Karen talked about how that area, like I call downtown Richfield on Linden, and 60 large amount from the electrical box all the way to the whole Kirschbach garden is filled. And so we talked about breaking out that box and giving more detail there. Well, just after you guys had talked about that, then we got a request from the Sun Current, and what they wanted was a map of the cross streets where the sculptures were. And so I shared, hey, that's, excuse me, kind of funny because we just talked about that and we don't have it. So I wanted to bring it up to you guys tonight. And Karen, I don't know if you saw that email or not from the Sun Current, but is that something you guys want to take on, or should we move forward with the brochure that we kind of have in play with that little modification of popping out the busyness or where a large majority of those sculptures are? I will tell you that we are possibly getting 2 new ones and getting them possibly by the fall. One being at the Chase Bank that you guys knew about on 66th and Lindale. And then there's a new pocket park going in, is my understanding, by Taft Park in that Home Depot area there. And I believe something is going in there. I haven't been able to connect with Amy, but she said it was good news. So I'm taking that to mean we're getting another sculpture. So if there could be a conversation on would another, I don't want to call it a cheat sheet, but would a more detailed with maybe the name of the sculpture. I'm not a graphic artist, I'm not an artist, but maybe the sculpture and then the 2 cross streets, maybe the artist's name. I don't know. I'm looking for any ideas or thoughts that anyone would have on that. So please share.
So Mary Kay, what I got from the email, and I did see that, that the Sun Current was requesting addresses for the sculptures. Was that what you got that they were looking for?
Well, the problem is there's really not an address. We would have to do cross street. So, but yeah, that's what they didn't quote. I don't know if they knew about the map or the map wasn't detailed enough for them. And so I think maybe they wanted to do a story or something, but what they wanted, we didn't have. So yeah, address or cross streets, kind of like a little bit easier to read than a number on the map is how I took it. So.
And when you were talking about like the downtown Richfield area that has a high density of artwork, were you thinking of having like an inset in the map with that kind of blown out a little bit more, or?
If the person that is doing it wasn't willing to do that, I was going to have like a little pop out on the website to say, here's to spell it out a little bit cleaner. So, and I think we have the room on it. I don't currently have an updated version yet, and I'd like to get moving on that because I kind of said it was going to be done by April or May. But we had said that that area was so heavily concentrated that to pop it out would help where those numbers are placed. So maybe not cross streets there, but, you know, in front of, on the side of the, like, let's use the electrical box by Wendy's. To me, if you said by Smashburger or Wendy's or some key in front of Chase Bank or some landmark that's already there, it might spell it out a little bit clearer. My problem is I don't have like a house number or a for where those sculptures are. Like our family is kind of over on the east side of Dale. And that's the, I don't know what the restaurant is there, but maybe spelling it out a little bit clearer. And if it wasn't in the book, at least have it be where you connect online and then it's available online, was my initial idea. Certainly not locked.
As far as getting more detailed about where things are, for instance, the electrical box, you know, it's what, 65th and Lindale. It's pretty much right on the corner. Do we have enough space in the brochure to put that information even? Because it felt like with the sculpture or whatever it was and the artist, that it seemed like how it was kind of formatted, there really wasn't any more room to put that much more. Is that what you're remembering from the brochure? Or do you think it would fit?
I asked the person putting it together, and it's also a possibility that we could increase the size. If it was important to the group and we were putting this much time and energy, the layout could be a little bit different where that page could pop out, or we can streamline the backside. I thought that there was some room on there without selling ourselves short as well if we were trying to keep the cost down. So I don't know if it's important to you guys, if it's something you want to try, or if you say, yeah, I'm just looking for a little bit of direction or thought. And because Karen, you had expressed an interest, I kind of just started working with you on it. But it's certainly a question for the whole group if you have any feedback on that.
I think Cross Street makes sense. I agree with Karen that it seems like we've got kind of a spacing, you know, like there's only so much real estate on that, but they were difficult to find. And so adding a cross street seems to make sense and seems like a pretty minor change. I will say I'm kind of eager to get this thing out. And so, you know, I'm wondering, you know, how much rework do we really want to consider? Versus kind of expediting getting this available so that people can start to use this just in time for spring. We don't have to wait much longer, but that was something that I was thinking about.
So what would it be if I were to suggest, being the staff liaison, if we took the downtown part, the numbers that we had originally said, numbers 6, I think, through 11, did we say? And then tried to pop that out with the cross streets, and then got the brochure quote out, and then continued to work on something that we could always post online at a later date, spelling out maybe the cross streets a little bit cleaner. And if we liked it, or we just kept it as our working copy, the next revision could include that. But I feel like we have a really, really good start and we're so close to finishing to get it out. But then like just finding out that now Chase is going to put something in this fall. And I think it's just going to have to keep like as more and more people get excited about artwork and more comes in, I see revisions happening. And maybe that becomes the online thing and there's not so much print copy, but we get it online and then update it. So we might bring to a few events a few paper copies and then share with them where online they can find it. And then that's where we update Chase, that's where we get that Pocket Park by Taft Park, that sculpture in. And then maybe since people are so excited about art, maybe it comes in as another opportunity, like when COVID leaves, we to the sculpture on this date, and we gather people there to see it or something. I don't know, I'm throwing that out, but it would be nice to get the brochure out. And maybe it can never be fully up to date, but we brought it a long ways from where it was. So I can ask. I am curious, Jenny, if you had any feedback on it or any thoughts. And even if it's, I'd trash the whole thing and do something different, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, I went through it again right before the meeting and I thought it was pretty good. I'd like to see what it would look like with cross streets on there. I do worry about the space. And then also a pop-up for downtown Richfield, kind of showing that a little bit more in detail. Otherwise, I thought I went through all the numbers and I kind of in my head was like, oh yeah, that's that. I mean, there's like a few I've never seen, but it made sense to me.
And maybe I didn't make myself clear. Thanks for that feedback, Jenny. I think we can really only do the pop out and cross streets for downtown. Or those 6 through 11 numbers. I don't think there's any room to do the cross streets for everyone, unfortunately. So that's maybe where we place the circle, but we could do, I certainly can start to work on another sheet and put it up like in an Excel spreadsheet and then run that by you and maybe get that online. But sorry if I didn't make myself clear. The only pop-up I'm seeing with cross streets and what I asked Kevin to do was the downtown, the 6 through 11, because I didn't think all those circles gathered in that one spot really did justice to everything.
No,
So
that makes total sense to me because, yeah, I just think it only needs it right at that spot.
okay. Thanks. Does that make sense that we would try to pop out those numbers that are very, very close that Karen had identified and Janie's kind of second that was so busy, it didn't really tell you where they were, but we could maybe do, east of Wendy's or like Karen said, 65th and Lindale or the west side of 65th and Lindale. Something like that. Would that make sense?
I think that's a great idea, Mary Kay. Do you need someone to go through and figure that out?
If you had the time and could do those numbers that are muted together or compare what Janie saw and send that to me, I would get that to him ASAP and then see what he came back and see if it met your approval. Besides the 2 new sculptures coming in, and we got the information right, And I don't know if anyone else saw typos on it, but, and hopefully you all got it from the last meeting, but that's where I kind of feel we're at. If we can get that pop out of whatever you call that terminology, of that very densely populated area and get cross streets on that, then I feel like we're kind of ready to go. I don't know if anyone read the little description and if we wanted that updated. I did get approval that it could be my contact name on the back in case they had any questions or were taking the walk, or at least there was someone to contact. And then I could share it with you as we had our monthly meetings, if anyone had reached out, and share their concerns or their congratulations with you guys.
Okay, Mary Kay, I will do, it's 6 through 11. I know the area. I mean, it's like a block from my house. So I'll just go through and get some cross streets and email those to you, hopefully tomorrow.
That
Thanks,
would be
Karen.
wonderful. And then I'll send it to Kevin. I'm thinking, even though our next meeting is April Fool's Day, it wouldn't be a joke, and I could possibly bring it to that meeting for final approval.
Awesome.
Okay, I feel like we got there. Do you want to move on to the next agenda item? The DEI training. I was just looking in my email to try to find the document that you sent, Mary Kay, and it's not jumping out. Let's see if I can find that quick. Oh, there it is.
It was dated 2/26/21, and I probably would have sent it out maybe the following Monday, but I have the dates.
Yep,
If you
I found
can't,
it.
oh, yep, that's it.
Yep.
There we go.
Let me blow this up a little bit.
Yeah, it's I have it.
Okay, so
Was it the dates in March 24th? You're talking
Yeah.
about that, and the 30th?
yep, there's three
25th?
options.
Is
So
this
as
for
mine said-
separate? Okay.
Sorry, the 3 dates, the option 1, 2, and 3 that you're seeing, and hopefully you guys all got that letter emailed to you.
Mhm.
Those are equity inclusion training. That's something new that I'm not aware has been offered before. And then some of you I know have attended the one that's lower on the bottom. That's April 5th. And that's from the city attorney, our city attorney, Mary. And that one is on April 5th. Same letter, just lower down on the letter. So 2 different trainings being offered. One has 3 options, and then one is just on April 5th from 6 to 8.
This is on Zoom, right? This is going to be or a WebEx.
I'm thinking
Virtual?
WebEx. So you
Okay.
have to RSVP to Kelly. So did you guys see all that? They have it. And hers is the K-Win, that email right there, or you can call the 612-861-97.
Okay, right here. Sorry, I was pulling up the email, but I see it now.
Yep, it's K-Win is taking the reservations. So some of you have attended the commission and board orientation, but you're welcome to attend again, or if you missed it, also just RSVP.
Okay, sounds great.
Any questions on that? Mary might also be able to answer any, but yeah, hopefully one of those dates work for everyone.
Anything you want to add, Mary?
No, I think that Mary Kay covered it. The training that the city council went to is really great. So I think that I'm thinking you guys will probably really get a lot out of those trainings for the equity and inclusion.
Well, I think it's wonderful that it's being offered. So thanks for sending this to us. I'll definitely be participating.
If someone can't participate, and I can certainly check if it's going to be anything online, but right now I haven't heard that. So I strongly encourage, if you want to attend and can make one of those options work, to go for it.
Does anyone have any questions about this? Okay. Let's move on to the next agenda item. We can circle back on anything if people have questions or thoughts. So did we get the band shell reserved, Mary Kay?
Everything's reserved for the dates that you wanted. And,
great.
and I can tell you again what those dates were.
That'd be great.
And we asked for Saturday, August 21st from to 9. We asked for Saturday, September 11th from 5 to 9. Asked for Sunday, September 12th from 1 to 5. 21 of August, 11 and 12 of September. And we talked about, as it got closer, figuring out where Joyce and her group would join us or not join us, and what events we were going to plan for those dates. Hopefully one of them being a poetry reading, but nothing was locked in stone. But yes, we have all those reserved for the Arts Commission at no cost. I did ask for clarification on whether or not we had to pay for the sound person, and I have not heard back yet, but we still have plenty of time. But the dates you wanted, we got.
That's wonderful.
That's
Okay.
great. Thank you, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like this item is a little cryptic, and I'm remembering an email from you, Mary Kay, about this. Would you mind reviewing the?
Yep. So here's the next item, and maybe people are starting to hear about us, but we got a request from the Mississippi Valley Poets, and what they want to do and is to team up with you guys and to put poems on, instead of sandblasted in the cement, they want to put poems on signs and then put them around a park. And we had talked about internally about, originally they wanted to do it at Wood Lake, but we didn't see that as a good fit. And we talked about Ridgefield Lake. And so I have a contact person for Mississippi Valley Poets. They're very excited. They deal with the maintenance of the poems, so we wouldn't be going there and redoing their signs. They take care of that. But our responsibility would be to pick the location and then get the post in the ground, and then they would be working with us. The poems would be about nature, I believe. I haven't had a chance yet to talk to Annette. Paul, the manager at Wood Lake, has, and my boss, Amy, has. So I'm kind of waiting to hear back from them, but it sounds to me initially like a win-win and a way to get more art in. And of course, the maintenance piece for me was huge But it seems like that's been addressed because they maintain it and they have the budget for it.
I think it sounds wonderful. Any questions so do you know timing, Mary Kay, and you know how the poetry is going to be generated? Are they all writing their own poetry and
I can
then
share a
just
little
let us
bit.
know? Okay.
What I heard from Paul, and that was late February, which doesn't seem that long ago, but the signs are aluminum and would be provided by Mississippi Valley Poets Group, and they're supported by sponsors. The city would, the signs would be up for 2 years, and a third of the poems would be changed every year. So they kind of refresh them. They're just not up and left forever. It sounds like Mississippi Valley poets come back in and keep kind of rotating it. So if that's a area that you walk every day, it won't be the same year after year permanently forever. And as Mary started talking about that area and people getting excited, and I know, Karen, you certainly, that's where I saw you walking. I was absolutely amazed when I walked it, the sculptures that are back there. Karen added the amphitheater mural to your brochure, and then there's like 3 huge sculptures there. And so we thought the poems there would be a nice addition. And so that's kind of what I know right now. I can't wait to talk to Annette and find out more. I don't know that we would be involved necessarily with the picking of the poems, but we might be asked for some of that input. Those are a few of the details that I have to agree, but these are the partnerships that I love when it seems like it's kind of a win-win for both of us. So, and the maintenance free or the keep refreshing it also kind of made me happy. So.
Mary Kay, do you know about how many poems they're looking to do?
15 is what I was reading initially from my February one. So they're interested in putting 12 to 15 signed poetry walk. And they've done something very similar in Mankato. They would be solicited from the metro and would connect to nature. So yeah, it's either going to be Metro or Minnesota Wild Poets, and they would have the nature theme. Let's see, I'm going to be interested in the idea. And then I just got Annette's name. So 12 to 15, sounds like we would be possibly involved in the contest portion, or at least promoting it. And then certainly I can ask any concerns you have. And if seeing the poems ahead of time or helping in the selection process is something high on your list, I'm willing to ask away when I connect with her. Oh, look at that. Mary, you already know what's back there. Did you guys just see Mary's little note about what's back there?
Yeah.
There we go. So, so I think it's a really nice area. If I could afford one of those little houses there, whew, it would be a nice view every day. Karen, you're lucky you live by there. So, but that's kind of a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was great detail, Mary Kay. Does anyone have any concerns about doing this? Or, you know, I would say that I would like us to participate. How does everyone else feel?
I'm all for it. I think it'd be fabulous.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yep. Fine with me.
Larry?
Yeah, I think that would make sense for us to be part of that.
Okay, great.
I
Mary Kay,
will,
will you continue to liaison with them?
I'll continue to touch on it, and maybe what I might do, once I have a chance to talk to Amy and Paul, is maybe see if Annette would like to join a April or May meeting with us, and then share a little bit more.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, sure, I'll do that. I'll find out, and then I will have more on April 1. And Mia and Joyce, you might see possibly an email or two if something is happening a little bit quicker, or whoever the new chair or co-chair or whatever is, who it is.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Okay, so next item we've got on the agenda is just ongoing activities. I remember Little Library, and I don't know if we have a schedule complete for art installations at the community center or City Hall, but thought we could touch base about those initiatives. Do you want to start with Little Library, Larry?
Sure. I don't know that there's much of an update. It was full the last time I went by there. I know that I am whatever the last big donation that we had. Those are all gone. But it does appear that other people, I thought Karen might have had talked at one point about doing some donations and stuff like that. It looks like other people have been dropping off books. At some point we may need to talk about doing some other another type of collection at some point, but I think we're okay for the moment.
Yeah, I've been checking on it now and then. The winter was pretty slow, obviously, but I think Larry's point is good. Since now we're almost to spring, knock on wood, I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more traffic by there, so it might be worth it to look into getting more books. I still have a stack, but it's dwindling.
And the only thing I want to add is because I was doing work at Ice Arena during these past few months, I was happy to go by there. And for some reason, they love it when they plow, that they plow the big, huge snow right at that path. And so I had my concerns as the staff liaison with them. And I said, it would be really helpful, even if you just push that pile a little ways down, because otherwise you're going up to that building, cutting across the garden to get to our little library.
Yeah,
So
please.
I made note of it, and I have it in my calendar to say in October, remember, as the plows start to come out, the little library does not want to be buried. Now, this wonderful weather is helping it, but at one point, and the snow was so hard, I couldn't even move it with a shovel. They had just pushed massive, I'm sure it was one of the snowstorms, but now it's starting to melt. But if you guys can help remind me of that, I would love to send it out prior to the snow season, hence the reason I put it October, that don't forget our little library is there and we'd love people to have access to it. Is one of the notes that I made on that. But I agree with Karen and Larry. It's definitely been full. I've added a few books. I probably have 6 in my office that I can add, and I will continue to bop down there occasionally, just like Karen and Larry, and put those books in there. If anyone has any books that they'd like to donate it, I'm happy to store those in my office. If you just connect with me I can do that. So probably can't store more than a box full of them, but if you've got a few here or a few there, I'd be happy to hold them till we met up with Larry or Karen.
Okay, great. But we don't feel a need to advertise the fact that we need books for the little library. We can maybe just trickle in some of our own donations, and if we run low, we can maybe reach out to the community to see if we want to do a larger effort to bring in some books.
I thought we talked about at one time if we had an event, maybe putting that as a line in there. When we were at the market, remember, we were always going to do that, but maybe those fall activities or some of maybe the garage sales start, or if we get desperate, certainly we could make a post. We would just need some place or be at some place that they could bring them to us.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't sound like there's a desperate need right now, though. Is that true?
Larry and Karen might have a better handle on that, but
Yeah, I think we're fine for now.
Okay.
I think we can reevaluate at the next couple of meetings, just to decide if we need to do request to the community for books.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Karen, agreed?
Can't hear. What is it?
I'm unmuted. Yeah, I think we're fine for now.
Okay.
Okay, great. Mary Kay, anything you want to add regarding the art, local art at the community center or City Hall?
two quick things. Number one, unfortunately, the community center isn't open yet, so there isn't any art hanging on the walls. The last artist took his items back, and as soon as I get the green light, we'll open that back up. Currently, and the good news that I can share with you is that Lisa Rudolph, if you remember her from past arts commissions, is now our staff liaison from the community service. And so she will be joining our meeting. She couldn't come tonight, but she was kind enough to help fill the glass display case. And she put her photography in so that the people coming in for licenses and driver's license or all that stuff, water bills, when the building was open earlier, could at least see her artwork. So I just had asked her within the past month if she wanted that back. And I'm hoping or hopeful that in the next 2 to 3 months, more things will open up, including our buildings maybe. And then I would jump at the chance to fill it or to work with someone on the commission who has an interest in bringing the artist back in. But right now, Lisa Rudolph is at the municipal center and the community center is empty, but with the understanding that we'd jump back in when things opened up.
That sounds good. Is there anything else you want to cover here?
Sorry, Joyce, go ahead.
Are we revisiting you know, the nominations?
Yeah.
If I
Yeah,
can just
we had
add
talked
my,
about doing that. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, if I just ask staff update in, because most of everything
Sure.
has been talked about, and this one did, but I have been in contact and was in a meeting this week with the Chase Bank on 66th and Lindale. Their goal, hopefully, is to have 2 to 3 samples of what they would be putting in their, I'm calling it a pocket park. If you haven't been by 66th and Lindale and saw the Chase Edition, it's kind of fenced in, very nice, nicely done circle area. And I believe in the center of that is going to be a sculpture, but you will see that, if not April, you'll see it at the May building. They were thrilled with your family's flourishing theme, and we're excited to begin work on that. So Jess is who I've been dealing with, and she'll know here, I think within a week, if they're going to be able to make the April meeting, and their install is this fall is what they're targeting for. So depending on what their selection committee comes up with, and the artist availability, all that will come into play, but you can expect to see that, the samples at least, or renderings, for sure by the May meeting.
That's great. That'll be fun.
Yeah, agreed. And then, of course, what Amy wants to chat with me. So you've seen, yeah, more art coming along. So very exciting. But that's what I had on mine. So welcoming Lisa Rudolph. She will be at the next meeting. And as I mentioned, it is April 1st, but it's not an April Fool's joke. It is really the first Thursday. So
Okay, great. Well, before we adjourn, let's get these officers elected. So anyone reflecting?
Me, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Are you on a what are you a distance?
No, I'm right up to my computer. I've just got my headphones in.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me better
I'm
now?
trying- No, maybe I'll turn my computer up. Okay, go ahead.
How is everyone else? Can
Yeah,
everyone
this
else
is
hear me
better. I can
okay?
hear you
Okay.
now. I can hear. I
Okay.
had my computer down a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what say you? Anyone interested? And let's start with the chair position.
So I am willing to go for a co-chair position, so I don't have to go it alone if someone else wants to co-chair with me.
Great.
I would be willing to co-chair it with Karen.
Yay!
Yep.
Woo!
Great.
Very cool, guys.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. Karen. Thank you for coming forward, Karen.
Thank you, Joyce, for all you've done, and Mia for all you've done.
Yeah, it's a fun role. You guys will have a great time with it. I will send you all of my templates, so you have to do nothing from scratch. And then,
Awesome.
do we need to vote on this? Mary Kay?
We need to be nominated. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I nominate Karen and Larry as co-chairs of the commission.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, great. And I can take the secretary position. If
I
someone wants to
nominate
nominate
Mia
me.
for secretary.
Okay.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I only heard Karen, but anyone opposed? Maybe we'll go with opposed. Okay, wonderful, you guys. We did it. So, I mean, so many familiar faces here. We're all working together. I feel like we've done a great job of sharing volunteer opportunities, and I think that will continue. So we're here for each other here, and like Mary Kay said, Karen, Larry, lean on me, talk to Joyce. You know, we've happy to support however you need it.
Oh, yes, we will be answering lots of questions.
Sounds great. So is there anything else you want to talk about? Any announcements before we adjourn?
I just wanted to say to what I mentioned earlier, if that's an agreement with everybody about, reaching out to other arts commissions or other cities, if that's an interest as part of this arts commission. to get information as far as what they're doing and how we can improve in what we're doing and so forth.
I really like the idea,
Uh,
Joyce.
Mhm.
I'll speak up as the liaison. I think the more we see what others are doing or where we can partner, only
Mhm.
betters ourselves. And
Mhm.
that if everyone had a little on the Arts Commission, something they were passionate about, then bringing it all together makes the work not only interesting and fun, but exciting, and we get to meet a whole lot more people. And yeah, I think it's kind of a win-win. So
That's
if
good.
that's your niche, then I would encourage you to continue to do that and bring it forward. And we see, and Janie, I gotta believe you've got a lovely niche that you can share with us. And if everyone just takes a small little piece, then it's great. I'm excited. I'm excited that we, make things happen. This could
Right.
be just another wonderful year. So thanks and hats off to all of you. So, but yeah, if you have a passion, I say bring it forward. That's why you guys are on. So, yeah.
I mean, something that we could do is if we were to maybe pick a few and have one person each call and just, connect with the chair and bring back information. That might be one way to divide and conquer. Doing something like that. We can put that on the agenda for next time, Karen and Larry, if you want to.
Yeah, that's, I think, a good idea. And maybe we can kind of brainstorm what cities we might want to reach out to, whether it's because they're in proximity to us, or maybe they are similar to our town.
Right.
Kind of think of those things going forward.
I think that's a great idea. Joyce, was there anything you wanted to add about that?
No, you've said it. We can move forward. Yeah, that's fine. I have no more to add right now. I mean, I've been reaching out, beforehand, just talking with other groups and things like that. So I've got some connections. So that's why I mentioned that would be added to the Arts Commission as far as expanding a little bit more. And so, I mean, because, there's more out there. There's more, I mean, I go various places and I find a lot. So I think that we should just broaden our view and perspective in all that we do, so that we can be impacting and grow, take it to the next level,
Well said.
Great. Thank you. I know voting is never easy, so I do appreciate you coming together and making it happen. I'm looking forward to seeing some youth members possibly. I'll follow up with Elise, and then hearing who our new member is that possibly got elected either last night or tonight, or so being at the April meeting, and then getting that brochure back out to you guys, the arts one, and then moving forward with that. So thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I thought this was one of our best meetings. So hats off to Larry for making me resend it out and getting everyone on the same page. But I thought the connections were good. We were seeing everybody, hearing everybody. I didn't have any feedback or stuff coming. I don't know. Maybe I was the cause of it when I was in my office. But yeah, this was, I thought, great tonight. So thank you, you guys. I really enjoyed working with you.